not see what I cannot have forever. I'll always love you. I hope you feel the same. Oh, you played me dirty. Your game was so bad. You toyed with my affliction. Had to fill out my prescription. Found the remedy.
Maxwell is an American musician, singer, songwriter, and record producer from New York. His career started in 1990, and he's been credited with being one of the founders of a subgenre called neo-soul. His output has been fairly slow. He's still active in that time. So what's that? 1990? We're 2022 now. That's 32 years, 5 albums. So there's been big gaps between his albums. There is one in the pipeline, apparently. And his last 2 albums and the one that's coming are meant to be a trilogy. And certainly the 2 that are out have very similar names. They're called BLACKsummers'night and BLACKsummers'night, with the emphasis on in capitals for the bit that's emphasised. Don't know if the next one is going to actually be called BLACKsummers'night, but it might be. Hi, my name's Dan. So this was Maxwell's 4th album after a hiatus. It kind of looks like most of his albums come after a hiatus, to be honest. They're so well spread out. It's my first experience of him. So, as I often do with this, I listened to the album once before I found out anything about him, did some reading up, and then have listened to the album again. So I would describe this as very definitely a soul. A lot of modern soul now has got a lot of overlap with hip-hop, and this, I would say, definitely doesn't. It's okay. I don't find it particularly exciting musically. Not like, there are some genres that do, like funk and blues and things. It's nicely produced. He can definitely sing. He's up for the vocal gymnastics that seem to be absolute requirement for soul these days. There's some nice brass, particularly on the album, nice trumpet use. I like bits where there's congas and bongos, some extra percussion in there as well. So generally I'd say it's kind of similar to late 70s, 80s soul. Maybe not as poppy as Whitney Houston, who I'd say was one of the archetypal proponents of soul in the early 80s, and not as funky as some of the 70s soul stuff. It's pleasant enough, but like I said, I didn't find it hugely exciting. I didn't find the songwriting particularly inspired. There are a couple that are reasonably nice. Pretty Wings is quite nice, and Help Somebody is a little bit different to some of the others, and I quite like it. But mostly it's, I wouldn't ask anybody to take it off. I don't object to listening to it, but I'm not sure I'd seek it out for myself. So, and I think that's mostly because soul is a genre that doesn't particularly excite me. Certainly later soul. By later, I mean kind of after about 1980 onwards. So if you like soul, I could imagine this could be a really good album. So if you're, if that's the sort of thing you're into, you might want to check this out. And if you've got an opinion, as always, I'd love to hear it. Please let me know in the comments below. That's it from me for now.
Can you see the future? Ask it if I'm there. Ask it if I'm there. Ask it to tell you, did I ever make a stand? Ask if you make it.